Did anyone along that journey share with you how truly low the success rate of IUI was? Did you know even today that it's less than 10% per round?
Mm-mm. No.
Cody and Becca Plassmeyer struggled with secondary infertility and 3 back-to-back miscarriages. They did multiple rounds of IUI and was pushed to do IVF.
So they put you guys, I was counting, were we at 8 rounds of IUI?
At least 1, 3, or 1, 6, probably 7 or 8 rounds. Yeah.
It's crazy. Looking at it, from my perspective on the other side, it's almost like it's criminal for them to put you through that without even being transparent with their patients of how low the success rate is.
Welcome to Prescribing the Truth. I'm Dr. Nichole Morris, a Catholic naturopathic doctor and natural fertility expert. Around here, we don't just accept the mainstream narrative, we question it. My goal with every episode is to share the love of Jesus with you and empower you to make informed, confident decisions for you and your family. So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, maybe even throw on your tin hat, and let's dive in.
Welcome back to Prescribing the Truth. I am thrilled to have you here today listening to this episode with us. And I am even more excited to have my clients, now turned friends, I feel, Cody and Becca, here with me today to share a little bit about their journey and growing their family and what that experience has been like for them. So welcome, you guys. I'm so honored and thrilled to have you here with me today.
We're so happy to be here. I agree. We've grown a friendship from this, if anything. So we're so excited that we get to be guests on your podcast.
Well, thanks. I'm glad to have you guys here. Let's just dive right in and not keep the people waiting to get to all the juicy things they want to hear us talk about today. So, start us out with just sharing a little bit about your journey. You came to me when we met, you were experiencing secondary infertility, right? You had some babies already. So walk us through your journey. What had that looked like for you for the 10 years before we met?
Yeah. So, we knew from the get-go, from when we got married, we're ready to start a family now. It was what we were called for. So we started trying right away, and we had struggled with 3 back-to-back miscarriages. And then we did seek infertility treatment. We did IUI and was successful the first round with that. But there's just so much trauma associated with that whole process. So just that added layer to the infertility struggle, your marriage and your relationship with your friends and all of that, it's just really difficult. So we were very blessed that it finally happened after 2 years, and then spontaneously got pregnant with our daughter. And that was a miracle in itself. And so at that point, we're like, okay, did our infertility reverse? We want more babies. What does next steps look like? So we ended up, after a couple, maybe a year or 2, we started trying again for our third, not knowing what to expect, and struggled with infertility again. So we did, I think, 5 rounds of IUI. We were pushed to do IVF, but we just kept being, I don't know, our gut instinct was telling us that that's not right. We can do this. We just need a little help. And we just trusted the doctors. We were desperate. We wanted it. This is what we wanted to do. So we had a lot of hiccups, got pregnant, but with twins, and lost one of the twins. So, very thankful for those 3 beautiful babies, but, we've always wanted 4. We knew in our hearts, that's crazy, I know, but it's just what we feel called for. We have so much more love to give. So after a couple years, we decided to try again, and it wasn't happening. So we did see the infertility doctor again. Several rounds of IUI weren't happening. And so it did finally happen, and we lost that baby. And so that was number 5 losses at that point. So at that point, I'm like, you just can't do this anymore. I can't go through this pain, but I also don't want to give up. So it's this internal battle. So we took a break, and then got pregnant again, probably a year later, lost that baby. So that's when I was like, Cody, I'm throwing in the towel. I can't go through this pain anymore. We need to pray on it. Are we done with this journey? should we do IVF? Like maybe that'll work, or should we adopt? So we just prayed on it. And that's kind of when you fell in our lap. So, Cody, I'll let you take it from here because Cody's the one that actually came across your podcast. So he's the one that actually found you. That's kind of where things took off. So do you want to share?
Yeah, so it was actually you were a guest speaker on a podcast with actually Dr. Charlie. And after listening to you on that podcast, as immediately I thought, I was like, I got to share this with Becca. So I think it was that evening. Or I went and I looked at your website after that, and I saw your intro video that you have on your website. And I went home that evening and shared it with Becca, and now here we are. Yeah.
It's so exciting. And he had been dropping hints, I feel like, for a while. He does a good job about just listening to podcasts while he works and just on lifestyle changes and things like that. Not that I wasn't closed off to it, but I'm like, oh, that's just BS. Like, I don't believe in that stuff. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. Let's just trust, these doctors. Like, so like for me to even be open to the video was a huge step for me. I listened to the video and it was like almost an aha moment. Like, wow, we really need to explore this and take the time to see what's going on and heal our bodies. And not only that, like this would affect our children too. So that was it was an aha moment for me just listening to what he shared, your video. So glad we did it. It's changed our lives, truly.
So glad you found that podcast episode, Cody. So let me back you guys up. Let me back you up a second. When you were going through all that IUI, did anyone along that journey share with you how truly low the success rate of IUI was? Did you know even today that it's less than 10% per round?
Mm-mm. No.
So they put you guys, I was counting, were we at 8 rounds of IUI?
At least. So like 1, 3, or 1, 6, probably 7 or 8 rounds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Looking at it, from my perspective on the other side, it's almost like it's criminal for them to put you through that. And you had mentioned like this was a really emotional journey, right? Without even being transparent with their patients of how low the success rate is. And it's tricky because you did have some success through IUI too, right? So you guys are kind of the outliers, in that success there. Talk to me a little bit about the fear that you had. I was reviewing the notes from our very first conversation that we had in January of this year. And I had noted quite a few times that you were feeling a lot of overwhelm and fear in terms of the next best step and kind of bringing some of these holistic modalities or thought processes in for you. So what was it, Becca, that gave you the confidence to say like, okay, this is the missing piece and this is the next best step for us?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's so overwhelming to think about like flipping your whole life upside down, just the lifestyle changes, your diet, your hair, shampoo and conditioner, your makeup, candles, wall plugins. We did all those things. So I just felt super overwhelmed by that of like, how can I do this? I'm scared to do it. Like it just seemed very overwhelming, in an emotional way and financial way. But also just speaking to you, just an overwhelming sense of peace, knowing that you would support us. And you kept telling us like, Becca, if you ever feel overwhelmed, like we're at your pace. Like if you get to the point where, we need to pump the brakes, like please share with us and we will support you with the pace you need to be at. And just the support from you and your team and the community in this program of, just replace one thing at a time and things like that. So that just gave me a lot of peace too, just knowing the support behind that. But I think what sealed the deal was that you were Christ-centered, and that's what we are 100% aligned with. So the fact that you put Christ in the center of this and that was kind of the core of all of this is what drew me in the most, because that's the most important thing. I think if we can partner with a doctor who values that, then that gave me a lot of peace too. So I think all of that kind of combined brought me a lot of peace. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were kind of with us as we kind of made this like transition in the program. So our program has always been very Christ centered, right? We will never recommend IUI or IVF in our programs. And again, like we're not judgmental. And I think you probably know that, right? Because you guys have been through that experience, but we just don't recommend that in our program. But you were kind of with us, Becca, when we made this transition, like when we started leading all of our calls with prayer. And so every single call that we start now, we always start with prayer, and kind of take it from there, share our wins and take it from there. And it's actually beautiful. Since we started doing that, we've seen some pretty significant, changes in our program and increases in success and things like that, which is really, really incredible. So before we started working together and you were going through this journey of IUI and having all of these miscarriages, was there any concrete diagnosis that either one of you were given to explain your journey?
No, I mean, I wasn't, besides MTHFR, which I don't think truly, I mean, is a big part of it. I wasn't diagnosed with anything. I just kept being told, oh, you have poor A quality, but this Clomid helps, or this metformin helps. It's going to help. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited. I trust you. I want a baby. I'll do whatever it takes. So I never had any diagnosis. But Cody, and it kind of got worse. His, and you can open up about this. Every time we did IUI, his sperm count and quality kept dropping pretty significantly low. So I think, and you can open up about kind of what that led to, but it was kind of the perfect storm. But I didn't truly have any diagnosis besides poor A quality is what I kept being told.
So, Becca, did you feel like there was a strong basis for that diagnosis, or do you feel like that was just, they didn't have a different label, so they said, oh, it must just be poor egg quality?
Yeah, there was no like official diagnosis. Like they didn't never diagnose me with PCOS. They did keep pushing like the golden standard IVF with genetic testing. And that was pushed on us a lot. And it sounded nice. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's what we need. But we just always have this gut instinct that that's not the path we want to take. Like IUI can work. It's worked before. Let's just keep trying it. But no official like diagnosis for me. So.
Yeah. And for you, Cody?
Yeah, they never diagnosed me with anything. As Becca mentioned, the sperm quality was going down, but I can't remember them, coming up with anything or telling me to do anything different.
You did have the surgery on your.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
for
which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a varicocele. He had surgery on that. But I think that when we joined your program, he redid his analysis, and it was just so much improvement after several months. I don't know what month you did that into Dr. Morris's program, but just a night and day analysis before we started the program. So I truly believe just being on the right supplements and diet and protocol and the lifestyle changes, for his sperm quality made a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And we know that recurrent miscarriages are often correlated with poor sperm quality. So for those listening, if you're going through a similar situation to Becca and Cody, where you're having recurrent miscarriages, oftentimes in the conventional world of fertility, sperm health is really overlooked because we just think like, oh, we're getting pregnant. It can't be a sperm issue, right? This has to be a female issue, where I say it all the time, like it takes two to tango, right? And so we have to support both in the journey. Yeah, very good. Well, thanks for sharing so far with us, you guys. I love to hear your experience through the program. So you come into the program, you kind of mentioned already, Becca, Cody's sperm quality improved quite substantially within a few months in the program. What were the biggest things right off the get-go that you feel made the biggest difference for either one of you?
I think just being supported and coached through the simple lifestyle changes, just to start with, because the first couple months are, a deep dive into lab work and, your Dutch testing and things like that. So that was our primary focus. Like you started us on some simple supplements until we truly knew the root cause. But in the beginning, the first couple of months, we started swapping, just simple swaps of our laundry detergent and skincare, and started buying organic groceries and things like that. So I think immediately, like we started getting more energy from that, just those little swaps of me not needing my afternoon coffee anymore, like I could actually make it through the day without that crash and things like that. So I think that, yeah, for me anyways, that was kind of what I started noticing in the beginning of the program.
Did you have strong apprehensions with your history of miscarriage? Like coming into this program, were you thinking to yourself, like, how do we know this is going to work? What if we, invest in this program and our time and our energy and make all of these swaps and have another miscarriage? Was that a fear of yours? And if it was, how did you get beyond that?
Absolutely. And I think that I did, like, even after our consult with you, I was overwhelmed because I'm like, do we want to like invest in this and have that time commitment this year? Like knowing like we can't look through a crystal ball. Like, what if we have another loss or multiple losses? And Cody just kept saying, like, I feel like we're being called for this. Like, this is where God's placing us. We just need to trust the process. So I owe it to him. Like, he kept just keeping me calm and assuring me, like, just after praying on this, we need to just trust the process. This is where God led us to you. So I think it was truly a faith thing more than anything, and the support from him to help me overcome the fear of like, what if I keep losing babies? Just trusting God and your program. So it just came down to that.
Yeah. So once we're doing the things, right? We're a few months in, you guys are making the lifestyle changes. For either one of you, were there any big like aha moments or discoveries that we made that really kind of changed the trajectory for you or your perspective or kind of put some pieces together for you?
I think a big thing was diet. One of the things it wasn't like we were eating poorly, but there were some things that we could change that definitely had a huge effect on our whole lifestyle, not even our lifestyle, our kids' lifestyle as well. So I think that part of it was huge for us too.
Diet 100%. We ate home cooked meals, but your basics like spaghetti, tacos, just whatever the kids would eat. But we weren't really in a good routine for like breakfast and lunch. I never have been a breakfast eater, like just grab a protein bar. And he pretty much forced me to eat. Like every morning, he is like a meat and eggs man. He would cook me. I truly don't deserve him. He's amazing. He would force me to eat breakfast. He would cook me eggs and spinach and bacon and like have it ready at like 5 a.m. So I would actually eat breakfast. And I truly believe that would help. That helped us. And then we would meal prep our lunches. So like we would have our meat and veggies and after we had our food intolerance tested, we would make sure we avoided those. Other than that, we didn't flip our whole life upside down. Like every now and then, like we would eat dinner with the kids, tacos, but maybe swap a few things. So like we could still enjoy those things, but just swap a few ingredients or things like that. So that was less overwhelming that way. We could still enjoy those things we still have been, but just swap or tweak little things, with that. So I think the diet was a huge.
Yeah. And I think that makes such a valid point too, that you don't have to be 100%, right? We're making every day is a step in the right direction, is a step toward a healthier lifestyle, but it doesn't mean that we just flip everything upside down that we're doing, because oftentimes that's not sustainably for our families or financially or, in other ways as well, that we have to take a very stepwise approach to supporting you guys. Do you feel like going through this process had an impact on your children's health as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It's hard to see like their health changing right now. Like I don't see any major flip in that, but just the simple swaps for them. Like we've swapped their like the laundry and then their soaps and things like that. I don't know if I've seen like a big difference in their behaviors. Have you, or their health?
No, I don't think so yet. But I think by us changing our lifestyle, they're seeing that they're incorporating that into their life. That's going to be their new normal by seeing us doing that in our lives.
And I think like they're young enough where we can change the narrative for them where we didn't have that, So I want, like, I'm being educated for my daughter now. Like I'm not putting her on birth control, when I was, but that's all we kind of knew. And was the norm at the time. So I think It's a long-term effect for them, just the education piece on that aspect. But I don't think I'm going to see it overnight with him, but we're learning every day. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive a little further in the process. So we've kind of talked through your experience, historically. You come into the program, we dive in, we support you based on your labs, environmentally, making swaps in your home, figuring out there's some environmental toxicities that we needed to work through. And then walk us through the moment when we get to the point where you find out that you're pregnant.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Fertility Formula Masterclass. My team and I have helped hundreds of married couples conceive naturally without IUI or IVF. If you're struggling to get pregnant or stay pregnant and have been told there are no other options, don't stop searching. There is hope, and finding the root cause is key. If you want to learn more about how we can support you on your journey to motherhood, head over to drnicholemorris.com, and don't forget, Nichole has an H in it. All right, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, so I'll never forget that. Like, I remember in your initial video, you had talked about people are amazed at how fast it happens whenever you make that swap. And so I remember I heard it somewhere, or Cody said it, 3 months of like a deep dive into the testing, starting those changes, 3 months of being on a consistent protocols with your supplements and your diet and things like that. And then after that, it pretty much happens. And it did. It was like clockwork. Like, it was amazing, like at how quick that happened. If you truly are faithful and to the program, like if it works, it truly works. Like I'm living proof. We're living proof that it works after 2 years and all the losses. We're living proof. So it happened about 6 to 7 months in, and it was pretty much spot on of what you had predicted. So
you were very committed to the process, Becca. Not everyone is as committed as you, right? So when you're going to embark on a journey like this, it's really important that you come in with the expectation and the drive that you're going to make these changes, right? And we're going to support you along the way. But I'll also say, like, Cody, you were also very involved in this process, and you were a very supportive husband. And that makes a huge difference too, because while Becca was walking through this journey, you were walking through the journey and making your own lifestyle, changes as well, and booking one-on-ones with me. And we were talking about your supplements, and you were doing the work too, right? You were making Becca her breakfast at 5 a.m. Like, that's amazing. Cody's the real MVP here. He's doing the things. So what was that like for you, Cody?
Yeah, previously during the process of IUI and that, it didn't seem like there was a huge focus on the male. And we both know that it takes both the female and the male. So, you guys really diving deep into my labs as well and figuring out what was going on there, it truly opened my eyes to the whole process as well. And it just made things better.
Yeah, when we're working together as a team, right? And it's not kind of this tense, like, oh, it's on you situation, which fertility can often be. And we come at it as like, we're a team. We're going to do this together. We're going to improve our health together, make these lifestyle changes together. We get the results we want in 6 months, right? So very good. Okay, so you found out you were pregnant. What happened next?
I reached out to you, like you were the first person after Cody. I'm like, gotta share it with Dr. Morris. We're so excited. And so, reached out to you, and already so grateful that you had me on progesterone, because that was a fight in the past with doctors, not listening to me when I knew my body and I knew that's what I needed. I wouldn't be prescribed that. And we had lost babies to that. So there was a lot of anger with that. So the fact that you were proactive with that I was already on it, that was a huge first step there. And then got some lab work done, checked my levels, my HCG and my progesterone. But what I loved what you did, you checked a couple other different hormones, because the OBGYNs don't check certain ones that actually do matter. So I thought that was amazing that you took a closer look to those things, because I truly believe if it weren't for you checking and I don't even know what they're called, the other hormones, DHEA and I think estradiol and things like that, never in my life have those been checked. And even with I have this progesterone issue that we've been working through for a really long time. And I was told that stop it at 13 weeks. You're good. And I truly believe if I stopped it, like we probably would have lost the baby at 13 weeks and so on. So just so grateful that I have you as a mentor and support, because I can't imagine like not having that from you. You're keeping a really close eye on things. And just even having you for those hard moments of like, I'm having a hard time at my doctor. Like, can you support me? Like, how do I have this conversation? I'm not confident in myself. How do I hate conflict. How do I do this? How do I put myself first? So you've always been good, not only with, keeping an eye on my levels, but also supporting me in those harder conversations and building my confidence and empowerment. So.
Yes. I'm so happy that you feel empowered, Becca. That's like one of the most important things to me. One of my main goals in the work that I do, right, is that women feel empowered, because I'm not here to be authoritative in the support, right, and tell you we have to do it this way, we have to do it that way. I want you to feel empowered that you have the information that you need to make informed medical decisions that are best for you and your family, right? And a lot of times that comes from education and our conversations. And I love supporting my clients and communicating with their conventional practitioners as well, because I find that and I'm sure you can speak to this, Becca, but I find that can be anxiety provoking for a lot of people, right? And they don't know how to have those conversations. So I love empowering women or couples to feel confident to go into their OB or their pediatrician if they already have children and come prepared to say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And also like to remind them that ultimately like they work for us, right? Like just like I work for you, all of our providers work for us. We're paying them. And so we have a say in how we want our healthcare to be. So I'm proud of you. I know that was not the easiest thing that you've had to do for yourself to stand up for yourself in some of these situations. So I'm really proud of you for taking that on, Becca.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate it. I think it's truly changed our lives, and I wish we would have done it sooner, like 3 babies ago, but we can't turn back time. But I truly believe like I've found this confidence in myself in this program, just healing mentally, and I remember in our very first consult, I told you like one of my goals is to be off my prescription medication for anxiety and depression. And we did that. We worked together and got through that. So I think that's a piece too, just my healing journey of, the anxiety and the depression and the confidence is this whole time you've supported me with my personal goals and things like that. So I think being pregnant in your program is the biggest win that you could ever have, but also being confident and healed mentally and physically is just an added bonus to all of this. So.
And that's part of the journey too, right? Is we can't just jump to the good part, if you will, right? We have to work through all of the healing pieces. I also remembered that I think that when you first started with us that you were also having chronic UTIs. And I don't remember talking about a UTI with you in a really long time. So I presume that is looking a lot better as well. So it's like we have to work on all of these little pieces along the way to allow our bodies to be healthy enough and our nervous system to feel safe enough to be able to go on and conceive, but not just to conceive, but to carry that baby, right? Which is exactly what we've seen with you, which is so beautiful. You've done a lot of really hard work, Becca. And Cody, because you're the cheerleader. You're right there, and I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, I had so many UTIs prior to this, and I've not had one since your program, but I think it all came from my gut and just the detoxing and just the different protocols you put. It's just amazing and to look back on. So again, I think those are just added wins. The fact that it's changed our children's lives are added wins, and we're already looking into the future to our pediatricians and having those conversations with you to support us. Are we with the right ones and things like that? So just so many little wins on top of the extraordinary win of being pregnant. So this program's truly changed our lives, and we can't wait to stay with you. So.
Oh, well, I am excited that we get to have these conversations about pediatricians and vaccines and all of the taboo things that the world knows that I love to talk about. So we'll dive into all of those things.
Absolutely.
How many weeks are we now?
So 18 weeks. It's flying by.
Do we know what
18
we're
weeks.
having?
We're not finding out. So it's going to be a
We're
surprise,
going to be surprised.
baby. Yep.
How exciting. Are you guys always surprised, or do you find out sometimes?
We were surprised with all of them besides my daughter, and that was a slip up from the ultrasound tech. She accidentally slipped it on a picture. So we were bummed at first, but it was still so amazing. We got to do the whole gender reveal party with her family. But there's something about having that surprise. I mean, there's not many amazing surprises like that in life. And this is the first pregnancy too, where I've not had that gut feeling of like, oh, I just know it's a boy or a girl. Like I truly have no idea. Like this pregnancy is not mimicked any of my other ones. And probably because I feel better. But I'm just so excited. We have no idea what it's going to be. And our kids are so excited. My daughter wants a girl, and obviously I think she's going to be pretty upset if it's a boy. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're
mentally prepare her for that. Well, good. That is exciting. I also knew that my first was a girl. I have episodes on this, but she was sick when she was born. So we knew because we had lots of ultrasounds, but, my second was a surprise. We didn't know. And it's truly the best surprise in life. Like there's nothing else in life, I feel like, that you can truly be that surprised anymore, especially in the world of AI and all of our technology and everything. So that's exciting. Well, I will be anxious to find out in 22 weeks if we have a girl or a boy. So I would love to hear, like, what do you guys have to say to anyone listening who might be in the same boat that you guys were in a year ago, right? Coming into the holidays, coming into Christmas, you'd been trying for a couple of years. This will probably launch before Christmas, so hopefully you'll all be hearing it before that. If not, we recorded before Christmas. So coming into the holidays, struggling with infertility for the last a decade, but also, the last 2 years pretty significantly. What do you guys want to share? What's the hope that you want to share with those listening?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I feel like people aren't educated on this. Like we've always trusted our doctors, and we want to get pregnant fast. And we were like, oh, IVF or an IUI, it can work really fast. So I think just getting people like me over that fear and that hump of the overwhelmingness of lifestyle changes, like if you have the right support, it's not difficult at all. And not only that, I want people to be more educated on how this is a multi-generational effect. Those who have already had children, if this is like secondary infertility, I want it to be more eye-opening for them. So I wish I could share this news with everyone, that, it's not too late. It's not too late. I wish 33 years of my life I would have known about this sooner. And I think, again, I just was not educated on it. But I'm hoping that our journey can change people's lives as well in our small community or, whatever. That's my hope with this, because I truly believe, again, like not only the amazing news of a pregnancy, but it can truly heal you mentally and physically and your children as well. So do you have any?
Yeah, go ahead, Cody. I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, it goes back to what you said multiple times, or what we've heard you say multiple times, that you only know what you know. And we obviously weren't educated, and I think that's the biggest point, is to educate yourself, to find out more, to dig deeper, and to kind of question everything that you are hearing. But yeah, I think educating yourself is the biggest thing.
I appreciate you sharing, because it's not often that we have men that are willing to share about their journey through infertility, right? I think just as men and women, and this is very much, I'm going to stereotype men and women here for a minute, but it's not, like typically when I talk to couples, the more of the emotional impact is on the female, and the man is kind of the one holding everyone together and, keeping the hope, and it's going to work out, and supporting his wife. So I think men just aren't like as willing and open typically to just like share about this and be open. Let's talk about it, especially when it comes to like our sperm health and things like that. So I just really appreciate you being here, Cody, and being willing to share, because we don't hear from enough men walking through this. And there's so many, right? Like 1 in 4 couples are walking through this. So there are so many men walking through this that need to be supported and hear from other men, who are walking through the journey as well. So I just appreciate your willingness and openness to be here and share with us.
Yeah, thank you. And I was going to add something else to it. To just be curious about the process, because like you've also said too, your body is made to do this. So if it's not doing what it's supposed to do, there's got to be a root cause. And I think getting down to that root cause is huge, and really that's the healing power right there.
Yeah, and that stuck with me too. Like when you were talking to it, like in the beginning, like your body was made for this. Like God created a man and woman's body to do this, and there's a reason why it's not happening. And like especially like me, I've been able to spontaneously get pregnant once. Like it's possible for me. Like why are we continuing to mask this with all these hormones and synthetic hormones that are just destroying my body? Why am I doing that when that's just it's not even a Band-Aid. It's not even fixing the issue. Mm-hmm. But I've been so just oblivious, I guess, to all of it because I just wanted a baby so bad. So that was whenever he told us that was just super powerful to me. It's like, again, that was like the aha moment. Like, okay, my body was made for this. We need to figure it out. And I'm willing to put in the work to do it. So I think we need to just educate people on that as well. So I think that's one thing to spread the good word about.
Yeah. And you said it, Cody. You took the words right out of my mouth right as I was about to say it too. So that means you've heard me say it a lot of times, which I love. But like, you do the best you can with the information that you have at the time, right? And so grace is a word that comes to mind often when I'm talking with you or other women that have gone through similar situations and look back and say like, oh, I wish I would have known that 10 years ago. Well, there's a reason that we went through the journey that we went through, right? And we weren't destined to meet each other 10 years ago. I wasn't doing this 10 years ago. So we couldn't have met each other 10 years ago, right? So the grace is the word. It's like, have grace on yourself. You do the best you can in the situation, that you're in with the information that you have. And I think so many women that will probably be listening to this will have a similar experience in that they're in the conventional medical model and they just hit a dead end. It's like you want a baby so bad, and I've been there, right? You're willing to do whatever you need to do to have this baby. And when you're told like these are your only options, like you're not the expert. So how would you know that there are more options outside of IUI and IVF, right? And so again, it's just really met with like that dead end of you want a baby, this is your next step. And if you don't want to do that, like I'm out. There's nothing else I can do to help you in terms of a conventional medical model. So again, just grace, right? We're in these situations and there's not someone in that conventional medical model saying like, hang on, we might be able to work on your lifestyle, your diet, or removing the environmental toxins or a lot of the other things that you guys did. So go Cody for finding the red pill episode. And something else that was on my mind that I was going to mention too is that I was actually just chatting with a couple before I got on with you guys. And it was also, the male had recently learned, the husband, that his sperm count was really low. And we were having a pretty in-depth conversation about like, that's potentially the root cause, but it's not the end of the root cause, right? We know that that's part of why we're not getting pregnant, but why do we have that low sperm count in the first place? And that's really what we need to get to. And that's a lot of the work that we did with you guys, is getting behind that and figuring out, well, what's the root cause there, and then supporting you. And we saw, such great results in just a few months. But you were compliant, Cody. You did the things. You dove in and you kept us on track and did the things. Did you feel like this like healing shift in your body? Did you feel like your nervous system felt like it was safe to conceive again? Did you feel like an internal shift, like in your being, when you were like, okay, this is going to happen again. We're going to have a baby. We're going to get pregnant and not have a miscarriage.
I do. Like, I will never forget this moment. One of the things you worked on with me was detoxing trauma in my life. So I think you had kept mentioning like the nervous system is mostly the root cause of this. And I had some trauma that I was holding on to. So you had me on the right protocols for that. We were working on that. I will never forget the moment. I went in my closet, shut the door, and I just started bawling. And I felt this release. All these memories were flooding back. It all just came out. And I felt like in the moment, like I finally let go of that. And in that same time frame, we were working on me, like I was relying on prescription anxiety and depression medication, just getting out of that. So I think once I healed my mental health, like that was kind of the pivotal moment as well. I think that was a big part of it for me personally. So I think once I got through that release and being off my prescriptions, I felt like myself again.
Yeah. And that was your nervous system releasing that trauma, right? And telling your body that I am safe again, right? Your nervous system, the dial was able to turn down from sympathetic to parasympathetic and say, it is safe. It is safe to bring life into this body. Your body feels that way. The environment feels that way. And you felt safe to go on and have, not just get pregnant, right? But to stay pregnant. And you said this, but the nervous system is so incredibly important when it comes to this, because if our nervous system feels like it's not safe because of our past trauma, and having 5 or 6 miscarriages and all of these IUIs that work and don't work, right? That is all trauma that the body holds on to when we're trying to conceive as well. So it's so common for women who've been through a lot of miscarriages, right? The uterus holds on to that. And the uterus itself has been through a lot of trauma as well. So it's so important for us to come in and support the uterus physically, but also emotionally, to let go of that trauma and allow your body to move forward and conceive in a way that's healthy and sustainable as well. So what was that experience like for you, Cody, when Becca was having this big emotional release and you were there, I presume, to support her through that?
It was kind of a tough morning that morning. And I knew that she was feeling something, and I let her go to the room by herself and give her that time. But then shortly after, I went in there and I just held her. And I kept telling her, let it go, let it out. Your body is healing, and yeah, just was there to hold her while that was all going on.
And that's so beautiful. And that support, I'm sure, helped your body to feel even safer, that you were safe, right? And safety is so important to be able to process that emotion and let that go from your body.
Yeah. It was the ugliest cry I've had in my life. It was like I was shaking, like I didn't realize I was holding on to all of that for so long. And just the small, like the trauma from infertility or other trauma I've been through just all felt like it was coming out, and I've been holding back. I've been holding on to it. And it was the most almost kind of out of body experience I've ever felt. But I truly believe that was my moment. And just him like giving me my space. Like he could tell something was about to happen. I was getting worked up, and then just being there for me, holding me, telling me it's okay. Like, let it go. It's okay. You got to get it out. Let it go. So he truly was very supportive and in my rock in that situation.
Yeah. How many months after that did you conceive?
I don't remember when that was. I want to say that was kind of maybe month 3 or 4.
Yeah, maybe April.
Got pregnant in July. So I think it was kind of like in that midpoint of, we got through all, we're getting through the protocols, kind of that midpoint of got pregnant just a few months later. So,
and that is so much of where the magic is. I'm so grateful for you both sharing this really like intimate experience that you had, but really like that is what makes what we do so different from what so many other providers are doing. It's not just a physical healing process. It's like that mental, emotional healing process as well. And that is where, and if you've been listening to me long, I don't like the word magic because of my religious stance, but it's just the word to use, right? Like that's where the magic of so much of the process is working on what are the roadblocks in our mental, emotional space from our self-limiting beliefs or trauma that we've experienced, our childhood experiences, and also similar to your experience, multiple rounds of IUI and miscarriage and all of those things, again, that our body holds on to. So again, I really appreciate you guys sharing with that, because that's such a vital piece of the puzzle that is so different from what others are doing in this space. One thing I wanted to ask you guys that I hadn't asked you yet is, were your older kids aware of the journey as you were walking through? Were they aware of the losses? Did you feel that this had an impact emotionally on them?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm like, it makes me so sad. So, one of the miscarriages, it's such a triggering moment for me. We brought them to an ultrasound and to surprise them, and there was no heartbeat. So I will just never forget like how to explain that to them, when we were so excited. So, they are definitely on this journey with us. I'll never forget that moment, but, they're kind of old enough now to where they understand it, and they've been praying with us, and they're just so excited. But as much as I never, when you plan your life, you want, like, I want it to be done by 30. I wanted them all, like, we try to plan our own life. Like, that's like, God's laughing at me right now. Like, Becca, that's not how I do it. You should have just trusted me. So I wish that they weren't so spaced apart, but I think it's such a blessing because they get it and they understand. They see the pain we've been through, and we can just bond as a family. And they pray with us, and I think that they're going to be the best big brothers and sister ever because they are older and they're empathetic, and they saw the raw pain that we've been through, and I honestly wouldn't change it for anything at all. I would not change that. I would not hide that in any way or form. But that's hard.
Yeah.
That's tough.
We have a Doppler to listen to the baby's heartbeat, and I think they get just as excited to listen to the heartbeat as what we do.
Oh, I love that so much for them. And how beautiful to be able to be at a place in your faith where you feel confident to share those highs and lows with your children, right? And to know that there are moments that are really difficult. You've probably walked the hardest of that with them, but for them to see the joy on the other side and to see that the Lord doesn't always answer us the way we want in the moment that we want, but he does answer us, and to see like that you've all been praying for that together, and in this blessing to come to fruition is just, that will have a lifelong lasting impact on their testimony and who they become as humans, which is beautiful.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful journey, and I'm so glad they got to see it. I'm never scared to show my emotions, and there's certain things that, you shouldn't talk around your children, but I think things like that, like, we shouldn't hide it. I don't feel any reason to hide my pain. They should see it all and how I overcome it and come out stronger on the other side. I want to be that image and role model to them, that it's normal and it's okay to go through these horrible trials. Like, I want to show you how you can overcome it. So I hope that I'm that for them. And I know that, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words, to be honest. But
well, I'm sorry that you are showing them that example, which is beautiful. Well, thank you guys again both so much for sharing with me. Are there any last thoughts, things that you want to share that I didn't ask you about, words that you have for other people walking through a similar situation? Anything you want to end with?
Trust your gut. Be confident in what you believe in. So, for example, if you feel like you're not being valued or heard from a provider, there are providers out there that will listen and will value you and your beliefs. So I know that communities are small out there, but talk to other mamas, join Facebook groups. Don't just put up with things because it's easy. Like, have those hard conversations, and it's okay to put yourself first, because once you do find, the right provider who will listen to you, the journey is going to be so much more beautiful. So I just want to empower other women to do that. Don't ever settle. Do what's best for you and your family. And even with pediatrician, that's going to be our next step that we'll be working with you on, Dr. Morris, is just support on that, just to make sure we're with the right one moving forward. But I just want, again, other women or just couples to just be empowered and never settle. Like, you deserve, the world, and you should, be in the right care with a provider that's aligned with you. So I just wanted to make sure to share that.
Yes, never settle. I like that. Anything you'd like to add, Cody?
Yeah, I think just stay curious, educate yourself, and to some extent, maybe even question some things too if you feel that it's not truly aligning with what you believe in.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say to other men that may be listening in terms of just leading your family in this journey? Because it sounds like you kind of were leading Becca in taking on this holistic path. So what would your advice be for just like leading your family in this journey and being supportive of your wife who's walking through this journey?
I guess just one thing is, speak up, and be the leader that God, meant for you to be. And really, don't force anything on anybody, but just put the information out there and let them make the decisions for them, and just try to lead that way.
Yeah, and I just to piggyback off that, I think that infertility is you feel like you're the only one in the world going through it, and you're not, but that's what it feels like. So, I think that you've always done a great job just making me feel less alone. And I think I think that, you can empower other men to do the same, because it's hard on their side. They're still mourning, they're grieving, but it's different. They're not going through it physically. So, I think you said it beautifully. Just continue to be like the leader that God, has asked you to be in the house, and it takes two, and just continue to, men, just be there to support your wives, and wives do the same. You have to support your husbands as well and be there for them. It's definitely a team effort, and it's not one or the other. So I think, again, everyone needs a Cody. He's amazing. And I hope that he can empower other men to do the same. So he's wonderful.
Beautiful. Well, I feel very confident that you have both empowered a lot of people in their journey today. I think that you will have a big impact just on the hearts of those that may listen, and sparking some ideas and giving them some guidance. So I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your Saturday morning away from your kiddos to be here with me today, to share your journey, to inspire those. So again, thank you guys both for joining me. It's been great chatting with you, and I'm really excited to get your story out to the world. So for those listening, thanks for joining us on today's episode of Prescribing the Truth. If you want to learn a little bit more about the steps that Becca and Cody took in their journey to be 18 weeks pregnant today, there will be a link in the description of this video. Hop on that link. You can listen to our free training video masterclass, and you can book a call with myself or somebody on our team. So again, thanks for tuning in and listening today, and I will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for hanging out with me on today's episode of Prescribing the Truth. If you loved our chat, you can find me on all the socials. Come say hi on Instagram at dr.NicholeMorris. And don't forget, I drop exclusive content on YouTube every week, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Also, I've got to tell you, if you are in need of high-quality, research-backed supplements, check out shopdrmorris.com for my full line of third-party tested, USA-made products. My Prenatal Plus is top of the line for fertility support, and if you've got little ones, grab a bottle of Kids Complete too. Lastly, if you and your husband are trying to conceive naturally without IUI or IVF, my team and I would love to support you, pray with you, and walk this journey with you. Just head over to drnicholemorris.com. That's Dr. Nichole Morris, Nichole with an H, to book a preconception consultation with me. Thanks for joining me today. Stay informed, and God bless.